Welcome back to the Self Indulgent Podcast. I am your host, Mariah. It was a weird last few days. If you have a TikTok or care about TikTok, we were banned for less than 24 hours, and that was interesting and a whole thing. And it's just so funny all the videos that were coming out in preparation for this, and then it just ended up being back up less than 24 hours later. So we all learned how dramatic we are, for sure. I was a little stressed about it, but we're good for now. We'll see what happens. Anyway, today's episode is going to be just me. It's more chill vibes today. I want to talk a little bit about my vision board that I created and why vision boards I think are so hyped, and you may be tired of hearing it. Maybe you're like, girl, I've seen all the vision board videos. I want to talk about using the vision board to help ground and practicing embodiment of some of the goals and desires that you have. The reason why I'm doing this vision board weeks into the new year, almost the second month of the new year, is that we see them typically pop out like, oh, this vision board is for 2025. This vision board is for 2020, whatever. I think you can create a vision board at any time of the year. It really doesn't matter. I have created like 3 different vision boards in the span of a year. But we know me, constantly changing. And so you don't have to follow the prescription way that people have been using vision boards. It can be different, and you can make it work for you in different ways. The easiest for me is to have a fun time on Pinterest, download a bunch of pictures, and then put them on a Canva blank page and use it to turn into wallpapers and resize them and stuff like that. So that's how I end up doing my vision boards. Before we get more into today's episode, I want to set my intention for the episode. My intention is to let the conversation go where it's going to go. I don't have a plan at all for this episode, so we're really just going to go with the vibes. I'm going to be as open and as vulnerable. My intention is to be as open and as vulnerable as possible based on the things that are on my vision board and sharing them with you all, and to help somebody maybe shift the mindset or think about vision boards a little differently. Coming back to this idea of embodiment, looking at my vision board or intentionally coming back to my vision board kind of helps reset, and it helps me take a minute to recognize where I am now. Thinking about where I was mentally when I made the vision board originally, right? What was going on? How was I feeling? What was I pulled for? What was I desiring? And then where I'm currently at since I last looked at the vision board. I made this vision board in November, I want to say. Canva will tell me if I go look at when I started editing it. I want to say in November sometime, or maybe October. And then I had previously made a vision board sometime early summer, right? I changed my vision board up. If it no longer feels like it fits or serves me, I switch it up. I urge you guys to do that. If you look at your vision board and you're coming to reflect on it, I think monthly is probably a good way to check in with yourself. By the end of each month, look at the vision boards, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I think it's totally okay to update it, because who knows what you've learned, where you've shifted. I might even make some edits today with you, actually, because I haven't looked at this since November, to be quite honest with you. It's on my wallpaper and stuff, so I'll get quick glimpses, but it's not consistent. So I just urge you to look at it with an open mind. Don't beat yourself up for things that haven't happened, and just sit with the feeling that comes up when you look at the vision board again, right? Like, what are you feeling? Are you feeling disappointed? Are you feeling still the strong pull and desire? Does your spirit light up? What is happening for you when you look at the vision board again? And take note of that, right? Like, don't judge yourself, but just take note. And that's a great time to reflect on, like, why am I feeling this way? What's not in alignment? And that leads more towards this conversation of embodiment. I think when you look at the vision board and you see the things that you still desire, and there's this yearning, this wanting, right? You feel deeply connected to the thing. So how can we practice embodiment? That yearning, that desire feeling, I want you to hold on to that. fully feel that, if you need to close your eyes and be really present with that feeling, I think that can assist in moving into embodiment, right? What does it feel like to have that thing now? What does it feel like, even though, what is the version of yourself that has achieved the thing or is living in the way in which you have put on your vision board? Sit, close your eyes, and what does that feel like? As if you had it right now. What does it feel like, right? This is how manifestation works and how we raise our vibration to put us in the vibration that is required for the universe to give us what we're looking for, or at least put us in the spaces and places that we need to be in order to shift that. So then it's a double whammy. Like, you feel it on the inside, which creates behavior change. Sometimes you won't even have to think about it because you're in that frequency to perform and achieve in that way. You might need to. So that's my little spiel about embodiment. And I think I might put up pictures that I'm talking about within my vision board. I don't know if I'll put the whole vision board up or just the piece that I'm talking about, but I thought it might be helpful to go through the different things that I put in my vision board to help not just have these like goals, right? Because goals can be hefty, and I know it feels like this generation has a really weird relationship with the word goal or the word discipline, right? So whatever we need to do to shift it so that you can connect with it and it not feel so intimidating, that's what we're going to do, right? A lot of what's been going around recently, I forget where I heard it first, and then I tried to conceptualize it for myself, and now I'm seeing it all over. Turning discipline into devotion, right? Like, that's a much more loving word, because discipline can feel very harsh. But it's always your relationship to the thing. So in reality, you got some stuff to unpack there. That's why discipline as a word is so heavy. So that's just a tangent that I went on. But anyway, let's start with I have different things on here. So I have different mindsets on here. I have different like philosophies on here, I think. I have pictures and images of things that I would consider as being part of goals. It's a nice little mixture. Broadly, my vision board hits 3 things: mind, body, and soul. I don't know if that'll help break it down into something that's a little bit more feasible for you, that feels full and whole for you. For me, making sure I have stuff for the mind, body, and soul also helps with embodiment, right? In order to embody something, there needs to be alignment across these pillars. Mind, body, and soul are the 3 pillars. You need to embody what you're looking for. If one is out of the picture, you'll see where it starts to break down. I'm going to do creativity, or just like you want to create something, right? So if you wanted to start a podcast, or on my vision board for mind, body, and soul that helped me align the 3, I have a visual representation and picture of a podcast setup that I think is really nice, that I like, that I also aspire to work towards, just to remind myself that, hey, you really like to do this, right? Like, so that it gives a visual component, and some of the mind goes there. I give myself permission to explore the full depths of my creativity. That kind of hits mind and soul for me. It allows a freedom. It takes a lot of the pressure off. It helps check my mind. So I think there's this philosophical and deep resonant piece to saying that to myself. I believe it is what my soul wants, to be able to fully express, to be who I am underneath all of the other things. I give myself full permission, and then it helps check the mindset. You glow different when your confidence is fueled by belief in yourself instead of validation from others. That is helping with the mindset that I'm going to need in order to continue to show up here. I took a long break last year because I was not in alignment. I was not in a place where I could embody what I wanted to, because there was a lot of things getting in the way. The mind was messed up. Like, I did not have the confidence. I felt like I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, there was no value. So there was a lot of stuff happening that was kind of messing up the system. And so when you can get mind, body, and soul on the same page, it can help foster embodiment. And I like that. So now I'm going to continue to get more into this, and I'll talk some about the quotes that I just said. I give myself permission to explore the full depths of my creativity. And so that looks like a lot of things for me right now. I did an episode on play, and then I mentioned it briefly in my last episode on friendships. Play is really important, and I think a lot of creativity comes from play. I've been getting back into singing. I've been practicing vocal exercises and warm-ups. I've sang more in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 5 to 7 years. It used to be something I did all the time. That is a form of creativity, right? I'm really understanding that your body is the instrument. It's not just your vocal cords, like your throat is not the instrument. Your whole body is the instrument when singing. So it's funny how embodiment is kind of coming up in all forms right now, and that's like kind of the theme I keep hearing and receiving is just like this idea of embodiment. And I'm relearning the full practice of singing and what it can include. It is a full body performance. For me, it's allowed me to play around more, get creative, and find my voice in a way that I did not when I was younger, and allow me to be different and do different, which also I think helps with me allowing myself to be creative. And it helps here too. I think I feel more aligned. I feel more like myself. And what I'm also learning is that creativity, like what's creative and what people like and what resonates is so subjective. It only matters if I like it. It doesn't matter if anybody else likes it. That feels like it's starting to really ring true for me, and is why I'm able to give myself full permission to be creative, because I am creating for self, of course, to help others. If I can help at least one person while I'm doing this podcast, while I'm doing these other things, then great. If it resonates, those are such bonuses. But doing this honestly right now in the way that I'm doing it now is great. When I first started this podcast, I could not listen to myself talk. It was hard. Some of it was just self-judgment and self-criticism, of course, and perfectionist tendencies. But now in this like shifted state, I am able to listen to my episodes, and I like editing my episodes and hearing how I showed up. Soul recognizes a more authentic version of myself, and that always feels good. The more authentic you can be, the better it's received, and I think that's for yourself and for others. So then I'll go back into that next quote I had mentioned in my example. You glow different when your confidence is fueled by belief in yourself instead of validation from others. That is so true. And I think that also rings true for the experience of now being able to listen to myself talk. Before I couldn't do it. Now I feel like I can because I'm more confident. Going back to something I said a few podcast episodes ago, that whole you versus you episode, I know I got me. At the end of the day, I got me. So whether people like what I'm saying or not, it does not change the fact that I got me at the end of the day. My relationship with me does not change regardless of what others are saying or thinking about whatever I'm doing. And that is so powerful, because now it's just like, meh. I'm taking back all the energy I had given to worrying about the perception of others. That was a lot of energy, and I'm realizing that because I'm able to reinvest the energy, and life feels very different now. Next, let's see. What else do I want to share? Of course, I have stuff for health and fitness. That is something I've been pursuing for a really long time. And what I want to add on here actually is, I cannot believe I'm about to say this. Are y'all ready? I'm about to cause an earthquake, because the way I soar up and down, these words would never come out of my mouth. You can ask probably a lot of people who know me. They've heard me at least say it one time. At this point, all of a sudden, I have an interest in running. That's crazy. What's going on? Am I okay? I don't know. You'll have to check on me later, because I can't believe I'm saying that, and I actually have the desire to do it. I'm not kidding. It came out of nowhere. I'm willing to lean into it. I want to go outside and run. I want to be out in nature. I want to give it a shot. I don't know. Something is calling me to it. I don't know if I've been brainwashed because I'm seeing more and more people do it. I think what's really inspiring to me is seeing people of all shapes, sizes, gender, all of it, just lean into it, no matter where they're starting. That's really inspiring to me. And I love doing things where I prove myself wrong. And so I finally had the shift of like, why not? I only am not a runner because I say I'm not a runner. That's why I'm not a runner, because I say I'm not. Not because I can't do it, because I say I'm not. And so I keep you posted on how that goes. I still love lifting though. I still fully intend to continue to lift. Lifting is the shit for me. But there was a time where I thought I would never be a gym person, where it wasn't happening. And my partner bought me a gym membership that we were locked in for the year back in 2018, and I never went. So here I am now. I go almost every day and I don't feel like myself if I don't go. Anything is possible. Listen to your body. You want to be more in embodiment and alignment, you got to start listening to yourself. You got to start listening to tap that intuition. Tap the intuition. Tap. Okay. Tap into the intuition. I'm not going to deny myself anymore. If that's the bug and the feeling and the desire I'm starting to get, then I'm going to lean into that. I'm already dealing with shin splints. I don't know where they came from. I've been walking on incline on the treadmill for the last year. I took a month or so off. And now that I've started doing the walking on the incline again, my shin splints have been horrible. So I ordered some tennis balls because pain. And if I'm going to start running, it's going to be more pain. I'm excited about that. This is another piece of this embodiment and listening to soul and whatever comes up, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Lean into it. If you have, follow the feeling, right? I think when we think about contrast, like I talked about in a few episodes ago, contrast, and oftentimes your spirit and soul is guiding you through your emotions. So if I feel an excitement and deep desire to do something, I think I should listen to that. I should probably follow that, especially if I've been complaining about not feeling for the last year and feeling like blah, blah, and like I don't want to do anything. If I'm feeling the itch, I should probably go scratch that because I haven't felt it in a year. So I should probably go scratch that. So I'm going to do that. I'm very excited for that. So just keep that in mind when we think about embodiment and listening to your emotions and desires, especially because it is likely coming from a higher self. I give myself grace when recovery is linear. This is really important. And it's Winnie the Pooh. This is really important for me because I have a tendency to, when I'm on this high kick, I've been feeling good these last few weeks. I feel very aligned. And sometimes I forget that I am still human. And I'm going to be annoyed and pissed off. And life is going to life. I crash out. I feel like I was doing so well. It was just a facade. How are we back here? I don't want to feel like that. Like I'll go out full on crash out. So I have to remind myself, something like that will always be on my vision board because I have to remind myself that I give myself grace when recovery is not linear. I'm still healing at the end of the day. I still have wounds. There's trauma there. I'm still going to have those things. They are not going to just go away. So just reminding myself of that. Next. Oh my God, actually, I can. It's just like a simple quote of actually, I can. So the running stuff, actually, I can. So I think something like that will probably always be on my vision board because self-doubt creeps up for me often, especially when I'm thinking too much. I've noticed the more I've been able to come out of my overthinking brain and sit with what is actually true instead of creating stories in my head, I have these moments. Like I think that has paved ways for me to even consider a concept such as running. So just reminding myself, actually, I can. And even if that looks like 5 minutes. So let's see what else here. I have something that says grateful, try to remember, to have gratitude for all things. And then I have this one here. Of course, I feel too much. I'm a universe of exploding stars. And I love that because I think, growing up and things like that, I've heard you're so dramatic, you're too much, you're this, you're that. And I am intense. I'm an intense person and I know this and I don't care anymore. I don't. And so just a reminder that this is part of my essence, right? Of course I feel too much. I'm a universe of exploding stars. We are energy. Stars are energy. We're all energy. And so of course, I'm going to feel, when I crash out, I'm going to crash out. When I'm excited, I'm going to be excited. To not be ashamed of the full range of human emotion and the full range of human experience. Like that's what we're here for. We're here to get that. So Yeah, love that. So you see how there's a lot of quotes here that help ground me and remind me why I'm here, right? I like having a balance of goals, right? The podcast stuff is on here. Actually, there's a lot of quotes this because I'm trying to remind myself of the mindsets and just the beliefs and the core values that I'm continuing to try to embody, so it becomes my default to override some of these automatic traumatic default coping mechanisms that are no longer serving me, and trying to integrate these other core foundational pieces that are going to help keep me going, and they're going to help heal. So lots of quotes. I have here one of the YouTube plaques. So that's that's more of a goal picture, hitting 100,000 subscribers. And I think that it's a nice reminder to have here. To me, it's possible. It's not impossible. It's possible. I've had really slow growth, and that's totally fine. But it is still something that I want. And I'm also coming back into a place of like, it is okay to want what you want. Because I think sometimes we can get what I've experienced in my healing journey, spiritual journey, mindset journey, is finding the balance between letting what be will be and not forcing anything, but then all of a sudden feeling guilty for just wanting stuff. Like, it is okay to want a big following, right? Like, it is okay to want to be famous, right? Not guilting us for those things. I think it's important to have the desire and the want, and then to also understand, where is it coming from? Where is that desire coming from? Why do I want 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? Because I want to spread my message more. I want to build community. I want people to hear me. I want to help people. I want more opportunity. I want to network more. I want to see what life can do. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if some of this stuff seems a little vain, just remind yourself why. Just remind yourself why. It's totally okay. Dear me, don't fall back into your old patterns just because they're familiar. Love me. I need to write that on a sticky note and put it in multiple places around the house. Because what is so hard about behavior change, especially when there's an emotional component and it's nervous system activated, is it is hard to remember to do something differently when you're in the height of an emotion. It is hard to remember the plans that you set in place and these protective factors when you are in the heat of emotion. So the reason I say I need to put it in multiple places is because I'll forget. I'll forget my tools. I'll forget that I have the willpower, especially if it's after a certain time and I've done a certain thing. May or may not affect the frontal lobe. So it is, and the later at night it gets, the harder it is. And when you're exhausted and spent at the end of the day, the frontal lobe is not as strong as it was when you first woke up. When you are at a limited capacity, it is super easy to fall back into old patterns. And I think all you can do is really continue to get curious, not beat yourself up about it, right? But to understand it and to slowly try to start better. And if those reminders help, do those reminders. Then I have one, doing your best looks different every day. It's a picture of like different phases. So somebody's standing there, somebody's holding a pillow on the floor, somebody's like, with their arms up and happy and the sun is out, and then somebody's like crashed out laying on the floor, and then somebody's productive on the computer, right? And it's like, it looks like a spectrum with the words, doing your best looks different every day. I like that. I think that's another thing to ground me and not beating myself up if things have to pause or things aren't as great as they were. I relax completely, for I know I am safe. I trust life and I trust myself. That's just another grounding quote. I also have on here, doing more vlogs. I will say, like, overall, a lot of my vision board was tailored to mindset, philosophy, value, beliefs, because those are the things that are going to actually help drive change and set me up in a place of embodiment to be able to tackle. So there was actually a lot less like actual goals, and more so like, this is how I'm going to start taking care of myself to be able to achieve the things that I want to achieve. I am done apologizing for my big energy. That's kind of similar to the other ones. My priorities for this year: 1, me. You always win when you move with love and pure intentions always. Of course, I believe in magic. I exist. Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? The best is yet to come. Yeah, so lots of affirmational, slipped into the void again and came out even more badass than before. So even if I do crash out, everything's gonna be okay. I'm still that girl. So yeah, that's most of my vision board. And I'm really proud of it. I'm probably going to add running to the vision board. I actually do like everything that's there right now. I'd have to sit and reflect on these last few weeks to see if there's anything else that's really resonating for me that I think I need to include. But yeah, this was good. I liked this. This was a cute little quick episode. I think I got my message across as far as what I think you guys can be using your vision boards for and how you can just maybe think about it differently. I think it was really cool when it first came out, the vision board stuff and all the videos on it. And then I think people are like, meh, feeling less connected to it. And that sucks because I think it is really helpful. Just remember, it doesn't have to be for the new year. You can do it anytime and you can change it whenever the hell you want. I'm like that. If you are somebody who is constantly shifting and trying new things and trying to explore, it is okay to change it. I changed it multiple times throughout the year. Looking at it now, as I get more grounded in the things I was talking about, maybe I'll add another page for more goal-oriented stuff or try to do some sort of combination of the two. Now that I'm looking at how like values and belief-based and affirmational-based that mine was, I think I'm ready to maybe add some more action or goal type of things for myself in there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me one thing in the comment section that you would like to put on your vision board, that you would like to embody, that you desire, or a belief or value that is helping you achieve new things or is helping ground you and guide you in this season of life. And come up with a theme. I like having themes for different vision boards. Mine was very affirmational, confidence, authentic based, and just being myself and leaning into that. So yeah, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a 5-star review. If you're listening to this on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or follow. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.